Hey everyone, welcome to episode 5, where I sit down with the duo Tim Arnold and Brian Lynch of Clockwise On Fire. Clockwise On Fire are a musical duo that blend and merge many genres. I sit down with the musical duo to talk about the Philadelphia music scene and what it's like to create music with your longtime friend. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you in the next episode.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Is this just audio?
Yes, just audio.
Okay, cool.
Hello, this is Brian.
Hi, Brian. I'm Brittney.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm not sure how long we had. Are you guys where are you guys? Are you guys still in Philadelphia right now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I guess the first thing I would like to ask about is how's the since I mentioned Philadelphia, what's the Philadelphia music scene like?
I think the Philadelphia music scene is full of amazing players and enthusiastic people and just like wonderful creative types. And I think there's many, and it makes for like a really good vibe all the time, and it pushes artists to do better and is a really nurturing environment.
I guess my next question would be to kind of tail end off of that would be, who are some of your favorite artists? It could be anybody, big, small, from Philadelphia.
Well, back in the day, we were both huge into the Disco Biscuits. They're a jam band. And then Dr. Dog's one of my favorite bands. They're Philly based. So
Yep. West Philly Orchestra, Hezekiah Jones, Ross Bellamy,
gotta give a shout out to the Roots.
the Roots Crew, Amos Lee. I mean, so many great bands come out of Philly.
I guess my next question would be, how integral was music for you growing up? Were there any people besides each of you that were in your family that played music, or were you guys the only ones that were kind of like the music makers in your family?
I had a pretty musical family. My parents didn't really like perform music, but my sister was really into music. I have two older sisters, and my oldest sister was really into music, and my other sister didn't really like choose it as a career, but she definitely is into music. I personally, and I think this also goes for Brian too, I just had like a real supportive family that kind of let us take it seriously and pursue it. So
Yeah, and my family, it's the same way. Everybody in my immediate family is really into music. Me and my sister write some songs together. My youngest sister. Yeah, so that's pretty much our family.
Okay, I guess we can talk about the album right now. And how did you guys first start to songwrite and craft the songs, and then that process, and then start going into the actual recording and things like that?
So a lot of these are started as kind of like old ideas that I had that were kind of just sitting around, kind of incomplete. And then when the pandemic came, or I guess right before the pandemic, I sent Tim one of the tracks that was more complete. And he went right to a studio. He was living in Atlanta at the time, and he went to a studio and recorded drums like that night, I think. And so that was kind of like the first one that we started working on together. And at that point, I don't think we knew it was going to be a project until we started sending a few more. I sent a few more over to him, and then we just both really felt like something was happening there. So then, Tim, if you want to take it from there.
Yeah, he basically started sending me stuff, and we started sending stuff back and forth. But the recording process was a totally new thing for me because I never recorded myself before, so I had to learn how to use like Pro Tools and all this different stuff. And it was like pretty, you know, necessity is the mother of invention kind of deal, where it's like I heard these tracks and I was like, all right, I have to be able to do this because they're so awesome, and I was really excited about it. So I taught myself how to do that, and actually, you know, a lot of friends, including Brian, helped me learn how to do that. But it was definitely a learning experience, and one that I'm really glad I got to do, because now I can, you know, contribute.
Yeah, see, I was but you answered for me, but I was about to ask you about how was it trying to record your project, but then also learn Pro Tools, which I would assume is a difficult thing to grasp, but I guess you kind of answered that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy, but we got through it.
But you learned a new skill that you can also help for any new projects coming up.
Exactly.
I guess my next question would be, since you've guys known each other since middle school, am I correct?
Yep.
I guess does that kind of help or maybe hamper your relationship within this project? And I guess that's my question.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely helps. You know, we know each other so well. You know, we're like brothers. And so, yeah, even especially besides our close friendship, just musically, we know each other so well. And we always have meshed, you know, well. So everything kind of just is happening organically. Hasn't been any big challenges or hurdles. It's just flowing out of us, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely helped because we already trust each other and already kind of know how to talk to each other, which is a good thing to know in a creative situation. So it's definitely beneficial to be that close.
Kind of going back to your childhood a bit, was there like any kind of band or artist that you feel truly shaped your childhood or your teen years?
Oh yeah, I think for me, Frank Zappa was like a you know, such a weird, different thing, and it kind of like blew my mind and like helped me to explore like weirder scenarios in music and just not settle for, you know, the usual what's on the radio kind of thing. It helped me like discover stuff and like learn about music more. I don't know, that was big for me. Frank Zappa for sure.
For me, it was like in the early teen years, when I was just starting to really get into music, it was mainly like Radiohead and Rage Against the Machine were the two bands that I was listening to nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few years later, you know, Tim blew my mind with all the crazy stuff like Frank Zappa and all that I had not been exposed to prior to that. So,
do you feel those of the bands and artists that you mentioned, do you feel that some of their maybe soundscapes or sounds or any of their kind of songwriting styles have influenced your current work?
Oh yeah, I think that's inevitable. But I think I mean it happens kind of unconsciously because we don't set out to write a Frank Zappa song because that would just be impossible.
Yeah.
But I think that definitely seeps in and like is part of your whole musical vocabulary for sure, including all the Radiohead and Rage stuff too. Like literally anything I think helps shape kind of what informs you and like informs your taste, and whatever you like, you kind of like put that in the bank and, you know, use that to help yourself be more educated.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. You know, it's anything that I've listened to hundreds, thousands of times in my life. I can't imagine it's not having an influence in what I'm writing, so whether it's subconscious or it's typically subconscious, because like Tim said, we're not setting out to try and do something that's like the people that we look up to, but sometimes the influence just comes naturally comes out in there.
Yep.
So going back to your debut, your single and video for Dig, how did the inspiration for the single, what is the inspiration for the single, and how did the music video come about?
Well, the single was recorded the same way we did pretty much everything. He sent me the initial track, like demo thing, and then I added drums and started messing around with some vocal ideas. And then we just were like off to the races, kind of like going nuts on this song. For the video, that was Brian's family member. So it's his brother-in-law owns his video company, and we obviously thought, hey, I know who can help us make a video. And they did an amazing job, and we gave them like light direction, and they just nailed it and like made it look awesome. But yeah, it was really fun.
And I guess and to kind of go off of that, since I'm a big fan of Circa Survive, how did you guys get Anthony Green on your track? What Will You Forget?
We had to pay him like a lot of money. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. No, he's a good friend of ours. We also grew up with him, so he used to hang out with us all the time. We used to play music and stuff, so we're old friends.
Oh, wow, that's cool. That's one of my favorite tracks on the album.
Oh, thank you. Me too.
I guess to kind of dig into the album some more, what do you hope that your fans and listeners kind of take away from the album when they listen to it?
I kind of just, I hope they're just really digging it. I hope there's in times where it's making them just want to move, dance a little bit. And other times it's just intense, and I hope they're just enjoying the kind of journey all over the map that the album takes you.
Yeah, I agree. I want them to have a good time, but I also kind of want them to think about, oh my gosh, what's coming next? You know what I mean? Like what could possibly come out of these freaks? You know what I mean? So I just want people to anticipate more insanity, Yeah,
and I want them to get excited about seeing it live, because we're very excited to play it live. And it's totally different. We'll play the songs, but we're gonna definitely just jam on them a little bit, bring a little extra flavor to them in the live setting.
So in terms, since you mentioned the live setting, and how are you setting about kind of taking those songs that you crafted in a studio and then bringing it to a live setting?
There's a lot of technical details, so we're going to be relying on technology a lot, because it's going to two people sounding like six people playing, but we're going to be using loops and computers and all that, so it'll still be a big sound, but it'll just be coming from two people.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
And then also, kind of a fun one here. What are some of your tour must-haves?
Tour must-haves?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm at the point of touring where I just am just stripped down to my bare necessities. I bring like clothing, my telephone, maybe a book, and some headphones, and then I'm good to go. You know what I mean? No more frills with me. I'm just like out there grinding.
I heard somewhere that on Beyonce's rider, she needs a brand new like super high-end toilet at every venue that she plays. Only her. So I'm gonna go the diva route and start requesting that when we're big enough.
That's good. I like that. It'll balance out. That's our goal.
I guess my next question would be, do you have a dream collaboration?
I don't know. I feel like I have like 50,000 dream collaborations. I just want everyone to play with us. I want like anybody who I think's cool to just come jam with us. You know, I love that. I love collaboration, you know, and I love when it's all improvisation too. So really anybody's welcome.
I would, for me, if I had to pick people, it'd be like David Byrne or Tom York or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I could see David Byrne because he has that kind of crazy improvisational style.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
What are your thoughts on social media, and particularly social media when you are a kind of smaller or indie artist and things like that?
I think
I will
it's
let Tim answer since he handles all of our social media.
yeah, I think it's cool. It's a way to like, you know, get more creative unless, you know, I mean, I think it's all about how you view it. You know what I mean? If you're like worried about how you come off and like are just trying to impress people all the time, then I guess it's going to be a stressful situation. But if you don't give a fuck and you're just trying to make cool stuff, then it's definitely a great platform and a great outlet for you to just get weird and like put it out in the world. So I think it's all about how you look at it.
Yeah, you know what? I would agree, because if you take it too seriously and you stress out pretty much about anything, then it could easily go south, and you start to not see what you were intended to do first, which was stay not stressed and have fun. So
Exactly. Exactly. Like I see TikTok and I what's on my feed, and like the algorithm's great on that thing, but what's on my feed is like hilarious people and like super talented creative people.
me too.
And I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's fascinating, if anything. But I guess if like you're drawn to depressing stuff or like you know, stuff like that, then the algorithm's going to show you that stuff, and then you're going to be like, what the fuck am I looking at? This is bumming me out. So I don't know, keep it light, and it can be a really creative, amazing space.
Yeah, and then also don't stay on there for a long time. I don't remember what show I was watching, but this girl, she was like, I stay on TikTok and I scroll and I scroll and I scroll. And she said she scrolled until a video came up, and the video was like, you've been on here way too long, go take a break. And I was like,
nice.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, anything in moderation, of course. If you like are obsessed with TikTok, I guess it doesn't matter how fun and creative it is, it's going to become a problem. But yeah, anything in moderation. I think it's a place to like have a lot of fun.
I see a lot of like really when I watch a lot of my videos on TikTok, it's a lot of musicians and artists and just those types of people.
I love it. And it's like really like inspiring stuff too. These people are amazing, you know, just makes me want to do cool stuff. So I think it's great.
I guess my next one would be, what does the craft of songwriting mean to both of you?
Go ahead,
For me, it's just something that you know, I always need to be kind of making music ever since I had the ability to. It's just always been in me. So songwriting is it's just like a release that is necessary. It just has to come out of me, you know.
And it's really fun. It's like painting a picture, or you know how I mean, I did this, but they gave like stressed out people coloring books and stuff. Like, what's the point of doing the coloring? But like, I mean, it's just, it relaxes you and it's fun. And like, it kind of like, you know, is something to do, I guess, at a certain level. But I feel like once you get to a certain point when you're practiced enough and you work hard enough, then it stops being like a hobby to like calm yourself down, and it becomes something that's really rewarding. So.
Mm-hmm. I guess I have a few more questions. What fictional character do you think would most identify with your band's sound?
Fictional character. That's a great question. I don't know. What do you think, Lynch?
Off the top of my head, I got nothing right now.
Hold on, let me think. What fictional character? I don't know. Come on, we can answer this.
Whatever it is, it'd probably be somebody weird. I don't know.
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. That's a great answer.
I did it. Pee Wee Herman. There you go.
Okay. And
This one's for all you Pee Wee Hermans out there.
and I guess I like to end on a few last and first one is the last thing I discovered about myself.
Oh my God, you're hitting us with the hard ones right now. The last thing I discovered about myself. I mean, listen, I got to go to therapy and stuff. Like, I discover new things about myself all the time. But I feel like I realize that I want my food so spicy in order to hurt myself so that I can feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can't do spicy food anymore because I have GERD. But maybe when I was younger, I did like hot Cheetos a lot. Or
Right,
I was
like,
eating like a bag or two every day. But I had to give up spicy food, even though I'm not even like old. So I'm like,
right.
old grandma, I can't eat the spicy food anymore.
You get an ulcer, sweetie. But I think that no, it's like it's like cutting or something where like you do it to feel. But like I always thought like I just like spicy food, but maybe it's just a way to self-harm. You know what I mean? I got to chill out a little bit. Is that too dark?
I mean, what about you, Bert?
I don't know if this is a new discovery, but it's just that I'm not unable to control my swearing because now my 3-year-old toddler is just walking around just dropping F-bombs, and that's my fault. So yeah, that will be my recent discovery.
Okay. Well, I try, but if I get really angry, it's bad. But
It's not angry swearing. It's just like that's just how I talk. You know,
Yeah.
It's like
I do
more
the same.
descriptive words. You know, like, oh, he heard me say that, and then he immediately repeated it, and now he just brings it up in the right context and stuff, and it's just yeah.
There was this funny video I saw of this little kid, and he was just swearing. It was weird, but the mom was just like, "Okay, that's how you talk now." I was like, "Maybe that's how the young kids are now."
Yeah.
It's hilarious, you know, but you got to try not to laugh, and you got to correct them.
Yeah. Last piece of pop culture that blew my mind.
TikTok. In general, TikTok.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool. I used to hate it, but now I'm like on there all the time.
Yeah, I think you gotta like just like wait it out until it like figures your taste out, and then it just shows you stuff that you really like. So it's amazing. I'm like blown away by it on the regular. Lynch, what technology blows your mind?
Technology or
It's pop culture, technology.
Pop culture. I'm sorry. That's right. Pop culture.
I don't really know. I mean, I guess Squid Game is pop culture right now.
Oh yeah, Squid Game was fantastic. Love Squid Game.
I didn't even finish it, but just even the first episode kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, the first episode had one of the best scenes, so
yeah, it was really good. That also blew my mind.
That was intense.
Yeah, the whole. Well, I don't want to ruin the series, but you should finish it. it's fantastic.
All right, we will. It like hurt me so much to watch that first one that I've been like
Yeah.
continuing it, but everyone gotta do it.
It's a rough watch, but I was like just like gripping my chair. I was like, oh my god, this is like, but it's the intricacies of the show. It's just like who comes up with stuff like this, but it's really good. It is a rough watch, so.
Yeah, I love it.
Get back to it.
My next one is last time you felt nostalgic.
Oh man. I feel like I feel nostalgic all the time, just by having a 7-year-old daughter, because she does things that I would have done back in the day, or just like, you know, as a kid, and it makes me think of being a kid. So all the time she reminds me.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Thank you.
What about you, Brian?
I mean, yeah, I agree in the same respect. It's with your kid. I mean, I get nostalgic when I see a picture of my son from like 2 years ago. I mean, I get it's like recent nostalgia, but also I have my sister's very nostalgic too, so she's constantly sending just old family pictures from back in the day. So I get like pretty frequent nostalgia material coming my way.
Also, we've been talking about covering the soundtrack to Terminator 2, which is basically a reaction. You know, it's like a reactionary nostalgia. So I think we just both love that movie so much, and we just want to, like, you know, pay it forward and, you know, give it props.
I've never seen Terminator, so I'm sorry.
What?
I can't. I've never seen any of them.
You gotta watch at least T2. Come on.
It's like the only movie where the sequel is by far the better in the series.
Listen, Brian's gonna finish Squid Games. You gotta watch Terminator 2. Okay.
Okay, deal.
Okay. Terminator 2 is going to be a lot less painful to watch than I imagine Squid Games.
Yeah, I most things will be a lot less painful than Squid Games.
Yeah.
And then my last question would be, what is next for you guys? What's next on the horizon for your band?
We're in the middle of making our next album right now. It's going to be like a concept album, like a rock opera.
Ooh.
Right, Lynch?
Yep.
So that's getting demoed right now, and we're just working it out and writing, and going to start recording soon.
And then we're just working on the live performance as well, so we can play out.
Yep. So shows and a new record.
Awesome. Is there anything else you would like to add? Say that I might have missed?
Not that I can think of, but I appreciate you taking the time for, you know, to chat with us.
Oh no, it was nice meeting you guys.
Great to meet you too.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
You have a good weekend.
Okay, you too have a great weekend as well.
Happy Halloween.
Oh yeah, happy Halloween.
That's right.
I bet you guys are going. Are you guys going trick or treating with your kids?
You know it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Stay safe out there.
I will.
Yeah, will do.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you in the next episode. On my next episode of Reclusive Blogger Interviews, I sit down with Marie Nafa to talk about what's it like to be an independent folk artist. Once again, I'm Brittney, and this has been the Reclusive Blogger Interviews.